WFLA Now will begin momentarily. WFLA Now will begin momentarily. Breaking news on WFLA Now. Here's JB Buno.
Concerns are mounting for a missing Florida 15-year-old who vanished while on her way to school this morning. You're looking at 15-year-old Sage Stiles, last seen walking to Treasure Coast High School in Port St. Lucie early this morning. She has vanished. JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now, folks. I want to let you know before we get into the details on this story, as with missing persons cases that we cover here frequently on WFLA Now, anytime we have one of these cases, there could be updates. So if you're watching this in a non-live capacity, you can click on the link in the description of this video. We might have an update. So just head to WFLA.com, the WFLA app. But you can see on the bottom of your screen, Share to Help has been activated because we have a 15-year-old Sage Stiles out of Port St. Lucie. That is, of course, on the east coast of Florida, but we're trying to get the word out, spreading the word as much as we can across social media, across the internet, because there's a concerning sort of development on this story. Now, a friend claims that she was on the phone with the 15-year-old girl as she was walking into school, and Sage telling her friend on the phone that she was being followed. Now, that friend called 911, and by the time that the officers got there, got to the scene of where Sage Stiles was on the phone with this friend, all they found was a phone and a backpack. Now, this is where that is. This is from our NBC sister station, WPTV. Let's show this here to you, folks, so you can see it for yourself. You can see that we've got a team of officers on the street here in Port St. Lucie. This is where she was walking to school. Again, Treasure Coast High School in Port St. Lucie. And I believe that there's also going to be some helicopter video coming up here as well. Again, this is from our NBC sister station, WPTV. And I believe that we're also going to have a press conference, video of a press conference that took place in the last couple of hours from the Port St. Lucie Police Department. So the latest on this story, again, on WFLA.com, the WFLA app. The quote from the Port St. Lucie police spokesperson, Dr. Sergeant John Delacroce. She was just walking. Didn't appear she was in danger or distress, just walking through the backyard. This coming after surveillance video showed her walking behind homes after her friend had called 911. So the friend gave Sage's location to police, and when officers arrived, the teen was nowhere to be found. Here's some of that chomper video from WPTV showing Port St. Lucie, showing the neighborhood where Sage Stiles went missing. Here is that press conference that we were just talking about. This is from the last couple of hours when the Port St. Lucie Police Department spoke to the media concerning 15-year-old Sage Stiles' disappearance.
At approximately 6:55 a.m. this morning, the Port St. Lucie Police Department responded to this location in reference to a 15-year-old missing juvenile. Officers arrived on scene and learned that the juvenile, as she was walking to school this morning, was on the phone with a friend and advised that somebody was following her. This prompted the friend to call 911 on her behalf. When officers arrived on scene, they located the child's backpack and cell phone on the sidewalk behind me, and we immediately began an intensive search for the female. We requested the St. Lucie County Sheriff's helicopter and Okeechobee bloodhounds. At this time, during the canvass, officers located video surveillance footage of a house in the community behind us, and 35 minutes after So at 7:30 a.m., the female was walking in the backyard of a house. Did not appear at that time that she was in danger or distress at that time. At this time, this is still a fluid and active search for her. So we urge SAGE, if you're out there, if you're safe, please call us. You're not in any type of trouble. We are speaking to her father and her friends to find out if there was anything going on at the house and if there's any other locations that we can search at this time.
Now, you mentioned the friend said that she was concerned because SAGE had told her that somebody was following her. Did she give the friend any sort of description of who was following her? A man, a woman, age range?
At this time, we don't have any information about the person that was allegedly following her.
Any reason to believe she may have gotten in another car with somebody, or she could be further away from Port St. Lucie? Where is the search sort of focused right now?
Right now, based on the video surveillance, so that was 35 minutes after we believe she was here due to her backpack and cell phone. It's in the immediate area based on the time frame. So that's why officers are still out searching the area. We had the helicopter up. The dogs were tracking in the area. So we believe somewhere in the vicinity. Her getting picked up by a car is absolutely a possibility, but at this time we're still following.
Did any neighbors say they heard any screaming or any signs for help?
We don't have any reports of that at this time.
Now, when she was spotted in that surveillance video, what was her condition like? Did she seem like she was flustered or bothered?
She just was walking. Didn't appear she was in danger or distress, just walking through the backyard.
What led you guys to that surveillance video? Did homeowners see it themselves, or were you guys out?
As part of any missing person, when we start searching the area, we do canvases, we start knocking door to door, and then during that search, we were able to recover a video from a house.
Did she hang up with the friend and then the friend called 911, or did she drop the phone? How did that?
I'm not sure the specifics of how, but enough to the friend that she was prompted to call 911 on behalf of her friend.
Working with the father and the family, the friend, is there any indication through conversations with them, has she ever run away before? Is that a possibility? Or not at this time?
I don't have the history, but that's all stuff that we're asking the father and the friends to learn about her home and social life and what was going on.
Can you sort of break down just what the resources are, how much time, cost goes into searching for a missing juvenile?
When a call comes out like this, every available officer, it's an intensive manpower, an intensive search. Okeechobee bloodhounds are coming from Okeechobee. It's an intensive search, and it's all hands on deck until we can find her.
What draws the line between that and a missing person or a runaway? What's the fine line that separates those two? Was response like that versus like this morning?
Sure, I think this morning just the circumstance of saying that she was being followed by someone, that's going to trigger more detailed and more extensive manpower search on behalf of us.
And to be clear, was the only 911 call from the friend? Like, she never called 911 herself? Did family call 911?
Yes, I believe just the friend called at this time, but we're working to confirm those details.
Around what time did the friend call in?
We got the call at 6:55 a.m. this morning.
And you guys have been in touch with the friend, like in person? This wasn't...
Yeah, no, she was on scene. The father was here. Everyone was cooperating with the investigation.
And was she worried about being followed just today, or she mentioned being followed previously?
I don't have the information on that.
And does she have any runaway history? I don't know if someone asked that.
That's all stuff that we're looking into, and in speaking with the father, we'll find that information out.
What would be your message to the viewers, folks around here, until she's found?
Sure, it's all hands on deck until she's found. We have extensive manpower out here, and we're doing everything that we can, utilizing all our resources to look for SAGE.
And if drivers passing by this morning thought they saw something, how would they contact?
Just please call 911 and report any information. And once again, we urge the community, if you see her, if you know something, please call us. And if SAGE is listening, if you're safe, please call the police. You're not in any type of trouble. We just want to make sure you're safe.
You know, there are a lot of
JB back with you here live, everybody. Let's get this image out to as many places as possible across social media. That's why we have Share to Help activated on the bottom of your screen. This is 15-year-old Sage Stiles. We're going to go over the timeline. For those of you just joining us, this is a story that has been developing over the last several hours out of Port St. Lucie, Florida. For those of you unfamiliar with the lay of the land in Florida, Port St. Lucie is it's north of West Palm Beach, but just some of the other, it's south of Orlando. It's on the coast. It's basically a coastal community, or close to the coast there on the east coast of Florida. So you're looking at the picture that has been shared out by the Port St. Lucie Police Department this morning, 6:55. That was when police responded to the scene, and that is the scene here. And you can see that they have police tape up We've also been hearing there's the crime scene unit quite literally pulling to the scene when this video was recorded in the last couple of hours. And you had the chopper, you're going to see the WPTV chopper going up over this area as well. So the timeline is as follows. Sometime before 7 a.m. this morning, Sage Stiles, 15 years old, is walking to school. She is walking to Treasure Coast High School in Port St. Lucie. Not anything out of the ordinary. It's a Monday morning, walking to school on a Monday morning. She's on the phone with a friend. Now, the friend says that while on the phone, Sage said that she was being followed, which of course is alarming. We don't know how this phone call ends. We don't know the nature of this phone call ending, but we do know that after the phone call ends, the friend is concerned enough to call 911. And by the time the officers got there, which was at around 6:55 in the morning, by the time the officers got there, all they found on the ground was a phone and a backpack. That was it. Sage was gone. This now launching a massive community search and really a search throughout Port St. Lucie and the surrounding area. And then as the investigation goes on, they discover this surveillance video that is captured in the aftermath of the phone call, showing her going through a backyard area. Now, I want to read this from WFLA.com, where we have the latest information on this story. The surveillance video showed her walking behind homes after the friend called 911. Again, the quote was, she was just walking. She didn't appear to be in any danger or distress, meaning that there wasn't any obvious sign that she was in danger. There was no frantic running or throwing of objects or anything like that of somebody who might have been chased. Because remember, now we're talking about somebody who said that they were being followed in an exchange with the friend while Sage Stiles was walking to school. So police are searching an enormous area, and you can hear there that from the Port St. Lucie Police Department, it's all hands on deck to find 15-year-old Sage Stiles. Let's go over her description. She is 5 feet 5 inches tall, 120 pounds, brown hair, last seen wearing jeans and a gray long sleeve shirt. Anyone with information, if you've seen this girl, if you've seen this young girl, if you've seen somebody maybe matching that description, or even if you haven't seen her recently at some point this morning, any information that you have that could be vital to the search for Sage Stiles, you're asked to call 911 immediately, whether it's in Port St. Lucie, the surrounding area, the greater Florida area. If you've seen this girl, you're asked to call 911 immediately with any information that could help out investigators. Let's point out something. I know that we're about to take a couple of #KJB questions and comments, and we do have some other breaking news developing here in Florida that we're going to have to get to. So we are going to have to end our live stream at some point soon, but I want to get to the big question that people are already asking, and I was monitoring your comments. Hello to YouTube Live. Hello to Facebook Live. The big question that everybody was asking as this press conference was taking place, or as we were playing back this press conference for you, our audience, asking about an Amber Alert. Now, in Florida, there has to be 5 criteria for an Amber Alert. Now, why hasn't an Amber Alert been issued? Child must be younger than 18 years old. Check. There must be a clear indication of an abduction. There might, again, they're not sure whether or not Sage Stiles has been abducted at this time. She's just missing right now. And while there might be some signs to police of a possible abduction, there needs to be evidence of an abduction that has taken place for them to issue the Amber Alert. The investigators believe that the child's life is in danger. That's criteria. Talking about detailed descriptions, and also it has to come with a local law enforcement recommendation. So a lot of criteria that has to be met for an Amber Alert to be issued, and this is, of course, the Amber Alert system, and it's been, of course, widely debated about the criteria that has to be met for an Amber Alert to be issued, and as I understand it, an Amber Alert has not yet been issued at a Port St. Lucie. But I want to make this very clear, because we're live right now for, a sizable audience on Facebook and YouTube Live as well. I want to make this very, very clear. If you're watching this this Monday evening or Monday night, missing persons cases, they're known, especially in the first 24 to 36 hours, they are known to rapidly develop. Information can come in on an hourly or sometimes minute-by-minute basis, depending on how rapidly evolving that situation is concerning that missing person. So just letting you know, you can click on the link in the description on this video for the latest. Our articles we can always update, of course, as this story, or as this type of situation unfolds, videos are cemented in time. Articles can be changed. So articles on WFLA.com will be updated, especially on this one. Missing Florida girl was followed, according to a friend, that being the missing Florida girl being 15-year-old Sage Stiles, last seen walking to Treasure Coast High School around sometime before 7 a.m. this morning in Port St. Lucie, Florida. I only have a couple minutes, folks, because we do have other stories that we're monitoring here in the WFLA newsroom, including a pretty significant one regarding the property insurance crisis in Florida. We're going to be talking more about that in the hours ahead on WFLA Now. So some big news developing there. Let's get to some of the comments that are coming in and see. This is the problem with when I first bring up your comments. So many of them are going so fast. I'm just trying to slow them down here for a second, so bear with me. This is, Janae has a really good question, and I'm glad that you bring this up, because we were talking about the necessary ingredients, the criteria that need to be met for an Amber Alert to be issued. Janae saying #KJB, why wouldn't her book bag and cell phone indicate an abduction? That's a question for authorities. And why an Amber Alert hasn't been issued. Now, I'm in Tampa, Florida. We can't really just call up or get on the phone with Port St. Lucie Police to ask this question. The police spokesperson that works with local media, as you saw there in that clip, that person is going to be the best person to ask this question to. And we're following our friends at WPTV for the latest on this story, and you can do the same by following WPTV as well. That's our NBC sister station in Port St. Lucie, and they work routinely with the Port St. Lucie Police Department. Let's see this. So, yeah, Brianna, I'm going to get to Brianna's question. #KJB, have they reviewed any Ring cameras yet? They do have that surveillance video. Now, that surveillance video, whether or not that came from a Ring doorbell camera or it came from another property camera or a street camera, it's hard to say. But they do have that surveillance video showing her in backyard. So I would imagine that that's what's going on right now, is that they're trying to piece together breadcrumbs, this video trail of evidence, if you will, as to where she might have went. So if you have an idea as to where she was walking, you can start to look at those doors in those neighborhoods and look for Ring doorbell cameras. Those can be invaluable in times like these to get evidence quickly. If we hear anything about that, I'll let you know. But that first initial surveillance video, Brianna, very well could have been Ring doorbell video. We just don't know if that's exactly the type of device that it was coming from. This is also an excellent question. Allie is asking, #KJB, was her backpack seen with her on the surveillance video? This is a great question, and this is why so many members of our audience would make great reporters. Was the backpack seen? We don't know. We haven't seen the surveillance video. Only police have the surveillance video. But sometimes what you'll see is police put out those images from that surveillance video because it gives us a better, accurate description. Sometimes the descriptions that come out, they are only partial. We have her height, we have her weight, we have what she was last seen wearing, but we don't have at this time things like, hairstyle, identifiable characteristics such as tattoos or piercings, other details about her appearance that could help people out in the neighborhood keeping an eye out for, or people in the surrounding Port St. Lucie keeping an eye out for. So we don't know the answer to this question, Allie. It's an excellent question. But the backpack is important because, again, if this is not an abduction, if this is a runaway, or if this was a teenager meeting up with somebody to, whether it's getting out of the school day or fleeing the area, there's literally 1,000 different scenarios that could be coming into play if it's not an abduction, if it's a runaway type of situation. The backpack is key because the backpack is usually you're bringing your belongings. Also, if you're running away, chances are more than likely you're not going to just leave your phone on the side of the road. So those are the two pieces that piece of information is really important. That when police got there to the scene of where she was last said to be, they found her phone and they found her backpack. Now, that's not necessarily concrete evidence of an abduction, but it's certainly alarming when we're talking about somebody who just completely vanished while on their way to school, and we're talking about, of course, a minor. So was her backpack with her on the surveillance video? That would be a great question for the follow-up press conference if and when that does occur. One or two more, and then I got to get going, folks. Unfortunately, busy day, or busy afternoon, I should say, in the WFLA newsroom. We do not know the answer to this question, Nikki, but I'll bring it up on screen. Nikki Fortuna, hashtag AJB, was the person following in car or on foot? We don't know. Again, the friend was told by Sage. Sage said, I was being followed, and we don't know what that looked like, if that was somebody, you know, creepily walking behind her, or somebody that was perhaps even more creepy, you know, following in a vehicle and kind of going at a walking pace. That's, of course, also quite frightening for a young girl. Don't know the answer to this question, but again, a great follow-up question for investigators to find out if that detail did come up in the phone call between Sage and her friend. Yeah, I agree with you. Flory, I agree with you. Now, some phones, all phones pretty much now have, you know, Find My Friends or a Find My Friends equivalent, and somebody who was seeking, you know, getting, you know, going off the grid, so to speak, maybe they would leave their phone. But even then, you could just turn off location on you could keep your device, turn off location, and keep your device. So Flory's saying here, hashtag AJB, a teen would never leave her phone. I agree. A teen who doesn't want to be tracked, I think, is going to find a way, you know, on their phone to turn off that setting so that they're not being tracked. So just finding the phone and finding the backpack on that road in Port St. Lucie, again, on the way, that walking path that she would take to Treasure Coast High School, this is an alarming detail. And whether or not it's going to escalate to the levels necessary for an Amber Alert remain to be seen. Folks, got to get going. Unfortunately, we're going to leave this up for as long as we can. We want to share this image out to as many places on social media, helping our friends on the East Coast. Again, this is not in the Tampa Bay area. This is Port St. Lucie, but an alarming story developing out of Port St. Lucie. A Florida girl said to be followed before she vanished while walking to school. 15-year-old Sage Stiles, again, 5'5", 120 pounds, brown hair, last seen wearing jeans and a long sleeve gray shirt around 7 o'clock this morning, between 6 and 7 o'clock this morning. And again, if you have any information that can help police, we ask you to please call 911. If you're not joining us in a live capacity, if you are watching this video in a recorded capacity, please get the latest. It's on WFLA.com, the WFLA app. That's where we're going to be updating the story with the latest information. Missing persons cases are known to develop on a minute-by-minute or hour-by-hour basis, so very important that you get the latest information as it, of course, unfolds out of Port St. Lucie. The latest on WFLA.com, the WFLA app. More to come in the hours ahead on WFLA.com, the WFLA app. A lot of happening in the newsroom. We'll be back with you here live on WFLA Now.